Welcome to episode 172 of the weekly Shared Security Show. And joining me this week is the dynamic duo of co-hosts, Kevin Johnson and Scott Wright.
The dynamic duo. No, wait a minute. A serious question. Does that make us your sidekick in the superhero? I'm not wearing the tights. I'm just
thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
But Tom gets the cool utility belt.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Actually, don't you have a lot of tights due to all the buttons and things? I'm just throwing that out there.
Under the stormtrooper or sand trooper armor, will wear like Under Armour, the brand. Is it compression? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, compression stuff. Yeah.
Well, it might as well be tights.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you're right. You got me. I wear the tights.
Well, to kind of start this episode off, I want to wish both of you a happy World Password Day.
World Password Day. Yes. You know what? I missed it by a day. I changed my password yesterday.
Ooh, you gotta change it. No, that means you gotta change it.
You're supposed to do it today. Yes,
I
know.
it again.
The password you said, but it's okay. Just use the one you were using before yesterday.
Okay.
So you have rotation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of my passwords are tires. That way they rotate regularly.
Firestone left front. Yes.
Yes. But today is World Password Day. It's kind of one of those not really advertised, kind of like a Hallmark holiday, right? Like Sweetest Day. Would you compare it to that?
Yeah.
What?
Now all the people that celebrate Sweetest Day are going to yell at me, but
what is Sweetest Day? What?
I don't even know. That it's a northing thing. Do you have that in Canada, Scott?
No, it's not that far north.
Okay, so it's mid-north.
So for Scott, it's a southern thing, but for me, it's a northern thing, is what you're saying?
Yeah. See, you don't even know what Sweetest Day is. It's called a Hallmark holiday. I think it's like in October, and you're supposed to buy. It's like another Valentine's Day. Okay. Whoever your sweetheart is, you're supposed to buy them a gift.
Yeah,
like one Valentine's Day is not enough, obviously.
Yeah, it was made by, I think, Hallmark, the greeting card company.
Yeah.
To sell more cards, essentially. So
never heard of it.
And Password
only
Day
in Cleveland, apparently people are
only in Cleveland. That's right. But Password Day is meant to sell you more passwords.
What I love, did Chewy just appear in your background, or had he been there the whole time and I just noticed? I like how Scott looks behind him.
I think that just appeared.
You notice that he
honestly.
did this.
Well, now I need a Star Wars background.
I have never seen.
Yeah. Okay. He is moving. Got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those of you on the YouTube channel, take a close look at Scott's screen.
Scott's virtual background is all messed up.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on, but.
So a little history about World Password Day. I guess there's a security researcher named Mark Burnett who he had encouraged people that he wrote a book called Perfect Passwords. Have you ever heard of that book? It was
heard of it, yes.
2005 it came out. And he had this idea that it would be great to have one day dedicated to, changing passwords and talk about password security. And then Intel actually made it, I guess, with all their marketing power, right, that Intel has, official in 2013. And then we've had it ever since. And it was interesting because I saw a lot of articles and I got tons of like PR spam about, oh my gosh, it's World Password Day. Do you want to have a guest on to talk about passwords? And I'm like, wow, we've talk about passwords, I think, every show. So every show is like World Password Day on the Shared Security Show, but whatever.
I am struggling so hard not to make snarky comments. You started this by referring to him as a security researcher. You then talk about the book, The Perfect, and I want to be clear, I don't know this guy. I never read the book. I am totally judging based on the comments you made. So
feel free to judge.
Researcher, which we all know, my opinion of security researcher is just another term for criminal.
I'm just going off his bio. Okay. It says security researcher.
I understand, and then perfect password, no such thing. First off, it shouldn't be a password, it should be a passphrase. If anything, right? Hey,
it was 2004, wasn't it?
The other option,
2005. Yeah.
2005.
His great plan is to tell everybody in the world, okay, May, whatever the heck day today
Change
is,
your password.
change your password, because that's the way to fix security. So the snark is building. I'm going to explode.
Tom builds these triggers into the show notes.
I do.
Yes.
I want to trigger Kevin, actually.
How can
I was thinking it was more like they're kind of like large prime numbers, right? They're very rare now, perfect passwords.
Oh God.
Yes. So I guess that does lead to a question. Because I did read an article, I think it was like a dark reading about, is World Password Day, do we even need this anymore because of how things have changed since 2005?
You're just bringing the snark back. Stop, Tom, stop. You talk about the article that quoted Bill Gates as saying passwords are dead. The same man who said 64K is enough for anybody. Or was it 640K? And we're talking about anytime you talk about a technology that's dead, right? Let's be very clear. I have code I wrote in 1991 powering the power grid in some parts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Passwords are dead. This will be the last time.
And podcasts were dead in 2007, apparently.
Oh my God.
Right. This is the official snark episode. I like it.
You're just like poking. What are you doing?
There's a bear. I have to poke it.
Let's talk about Kevin's car.
Let's talk about my car. I think that doing something to build awareness about passwords and managing authentication and all this kind of stuff is really good. I think helping people understand stuff. I find that when we simplify stuff in the message like that, what we're doing is we're pissing on our users. We're basically saying, you all are too stupid to understand this, so let me make it dumb enough for you. And I find that insulting, and I find it an awful way to do security. And I want to be clear, I am one of the people that used to talk about idiot users. I admit that. I was wrong. And saying to people, okay, it's May 6th, change your password, is the same thing as saying, okay, it's May 6th, please brush your teeth, wear deodorant, and change your underwear. These are the things.
Oh, man.
We have to say that at DEF CON every year. Well, we haven't had to the last year.
Very clear. That is not a DEF CON thing. I was at Dragon Con. I've been at anime conventions. Let's be very clear. If you can buy the tickets to get into a convention, please spend a little money and buy soap and deodorant. I've
been up the breaking topics you hear.
I'm about to hose you down. Sorry. So, your next article.
Yes. So let's move on from World Password Day. Spring and summer are upon us, and that means it's time for some much-needed vacation time with friends and family. But this also means that you need to be aware of data privacy and how to protect your laptops, smartphones, and key fobs while traveling. Airports and other public areas can often be targeted by attackers looking to gain access to your devices through their wireless signals. So instead of worrying about disabling or turning off wireless functions, it's so much easier to place them in a Faraday bag when they're not being used. And if you want the best protection that you can get, you want to be using Silent Pocket's premium Faraday bag product line that blocks all wireless signals. So don't forget to get yourself a Faraday bag before you head out on your vacation. And right now, you can use discount code SHAREDSECURITY and receive 10% off your order during checkout at silentpocket.com.
Is your team starting to show signs of fatigue from traditional security awareness compliance training, or from phishing assessments that target them for those teachable moments? As we've seen in recent news, these kinds of training are having a negative impact on corporate culture, and they're really not all that effective. So there has to be a better way. ClickArmor is the first gamified learning platform that helps build a self-defending team through engaging learning challenges and exercises. Its unique lesson templates, built with proven gamification techniques, let people learn and exercise important defensive concepts in a safe and fun environment. Whether you need to quickly deploy a training solution that gets people to stop clicking on things immediately, or you've got your own boring content that needs to be put into a more interesting user experience, ClickArmor can help. So go to clickarmor.ca/shared security to learn how to build a self-defending team.
I do want to talk about Teslas, though. And this is a topic near and dear to your heart, Kevin, because you have a Tesla.
Yes, I did.
Did you know that drones are now remotely hacking Teslas?
Yes. I have actually attached a drone to my Tesla just to pre-hack it. So I did. Yes, I read the article. I think it's an interesting attack.
It is.
I'm not surprised by it, right? We're using, we, with the people, whoever develops stuff, somebody is building a system. They're using libraries and software from other people and are using it badly, or it has flaws. That's reality, right?
Yeah.
It's a cool attack. Part of me feels like the drone aspect is to get a headline.
Because you don't need a drone to do it.
No.
Well, it makes it easier, though, to follow you close enough to actually...
You don't think a car can follow me? You think my Tesla's so fast that
Not without Kevin catching on,
Oh, that's a good point. I pay so much attention when I'm driving. Let's be very clear. When I'm riding, because the car is driving. And so, I think I really think this is a cool attack. I think what is it? SBOM? Software bill of materials.
Yeah.
That this, in my opinion, really pushes the idea, and I know Alan would love to hear this, Chris Blask would love to hear this, that us talking about this. This brings up the idea of knowing what pieces are in your products, and don't know what pieces are in your product.
Yeah. Whether
you're the consumer, me in this case, right? With my car, or even just the manufacturer, right? Does Tesla know all of the software that's in there? And we can pick on Tesla because it's a good name and it gets attention and everything else like that, but this goes across the board.
I have a question for you then, Kevin.
Yeah,
so I'm curious, do you know how many wireless interfaces there are on a Tesla? Is there just one, or are there many? How many?
37.
Okay. So I would say the answer to your previous question about whether Tesla knows or is in control.
I totally made that up. I have no idea how many wireless interfaces are on my Tesla. But you're right? Like, how many of that? What's there? What is this thing? I think that this is where we have to start trying to get people to disclose what they're building off of, right?
Yeah.
I've used this example a million times. I was a Webster administrator, a job I don't wish on my worst enemy. And I would, way back in the 3.5.4 days, not that that's relevant, except that back then you had to actually declare the class path when you deployed an application, right? It wasn't deployed to an EAR or a WAR file or whatever. And I would work with the developers and be like, okay, you're what's the class path that you need? Oh, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You built this app, right? Like, you developed it. Oh yeah.
But that wasn't the fun part.
Yeah, I didn't like that part. Like, do you need? And the one that would get me every single time, we rolled out MQ, and developers would build to it because it's the new thing and it's awesome, and I'm old. And for the people, like, there's a whole bunch of people listening right now, like MQ, like the letters in the alphabet. But and we would deploy the code and it would just fail because it would require the MQ jar files and the configuration, and you'd go back to the developer and be like, okay, what should I don't know. But and it's the same thing here, right? They're using software and pieces they don't necessarily know. I'm not saying that Tesla doesn't know.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that they know. And let's be very clear, I'll confidently say they don't know every package, because they may know a package they use, but it uses 3 other packages, which use 4 other packages.
Yeah.
And
there's really no defined best practice that says you have to disclose what libraries you're using from third parties, right?
And that is what the SBOM and similar projects are trying to get to, right? When we deploy a piece of software, we have a bill of materials. What is in that? You're required to tell me what's in my food, right? Let me know what's in my software, especially when we're talking about software that can control whether or not I kill random people on the side of the road, right? Not on purpose for the people.
What would be the equivalent of listing the calories Yeah, I wonder.
Well, they would call that the horsepower, but that's not. I don't think that works. Right? Yeah, no, I cool attack, really neat, but yeah, it just shows the same problem we've had.
Yeah,
a million times, in my opinion.
I was thinking it was going to be Charlie Miller that revealed it, but I guess not.
I don't think Charlie's working in that space anymore, is he?
I don't know. I'm
He's
not
retired.
sure. I haven't heard from him in a while.
No, he's not retired. He's still working. I just don't think he's in that space anymore. But I could be wrong. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah. And I think it's just like kind of like to your point, Kevin, about like, oh, it's a drone, right? So it's a sexy attack now. Like I see a lot of that these days.
I'm okay with that. I live in Florida. I can shoot your drone down.
It does sound like a spy movie, though. That's what I said when I sent you the emails. Just imagine, you know.
Oh, and I do want to clarify, and we'll have a link in the show notes to the full article, but this attack did not start or drive away the Tesla, to be clear. It only was able to take over the infotainment system, which had controls, you know, basically it would simulate what a regular user could do, which is open the doors and the trunk, lock it, unlock it, turn the AC on and off.
Interesting, though, with a Tesla, could you actually control the navigation from there?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Keep in mind that what most people don't understand about Teslas, their full self-driving is not full self-driving yet, right?
Yeah.
So in my car, I can keep it in a lane, I can have it tell speed, I can have it change lanes, stuff like that. And if I'm on highways, it will navigate. So like my commute in, I get off the 17 onto 295 and then go over to San Jose. Not that specificity is important, but when I'm on the on-ramp, I can, the car just takes over and it will get onto the highway, change lanes, and go to the right exit and get off, right? Which is nice. But it is not like you can say to it, take me to Publix, and it will drive you to the local Publix. There are
It's coming.
Oh, it is. Elon Musk tweets out at least once every month. Anytime that stock goes a little bit lower, he tweets out about it again. And but the other thing to keep in mind is there are other controls. For example, you can't open the on my car the hatchback, right? You can't pop the hatchback if the car's not in park, right? So it's like I've seen some, not the article that you linked to, but some other references where people are like, oh my gosh, they could open the doors, people fall out. No, come on, stop being idiots. Right, like that kind of stuff. And there is expectation that they could escalate further.
Right.
They didn't.
This is just the wedge, thin edge of the wedge.
Yep. So we don't know what they can do after that. Blow it up. And then it'll burn for 8 hours and the firemen won't know how to put it out. And they'll have to call Tesla. Wasn't that other stupid
Yes,
article?
that was that story where the people were killed in that car.
Yeah. It was awful that they died, but the articles about it were just outright stupid. Sorry.
So last story is a personal story that I wanted to talk about. I had received something in the mail worthy of podcast discussion. And no, Kevin, it wasn't your pen. Thank you, though. Yes, we're going to talk about pen testing today. And we're going to use Kevin's pen that he so graciously gave me. No, we're going to talk about a letter that I got in the mail from a company called Ipsos. Is that how you pronounce it?
I just saw that story.
That's how I would pronounce it. I don't know if I'm right.
Ipsos, it's a polling company.
Yeah, it's a polling company. They are partners with Google, and they have this thing called the Screenwise panel. And apparently, people get randomly selected for this program. What I found interesting was that there's this. You open up the envelope, and then there's a real dollar bill. Brand new real dollar bill attached to the
which you can keep paper. Either way.
Yes, this is this is legit. As a kind of a teaser, because I was actually going to throw this out. I was just going to toss it in the trash like other junk mail.
Isn't it illegal to throw out money?
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not illegal to throw out money, but it is illegal to destroy it.
Destroy it.
Yeah.
Or deface it or whatever.
So I thought it was interesting because what they're doing is if you sign up for this program, they will send you a Wi-Fi router, and it collects every site you go to, every type of device that you use in your house, and it sends this information to Google. And of course, they will compensate you for that through, they have a program of, they give you $5 to sign up, $20 for completing their survey, $100 when you get the router, and then up to $16 each month for every person in your house as compensation for sharing your internet history, essentially, and what your devices are doing on your network.
Interesting.
That's all the reason to stand up a Raspberry Pi with a script that just crawls the most disgusting.
I was just gonna say it's just ripe for poisoning, right?
Like if there's something that people open up the browser and go, oh my God, and they have to have therapy, that's what you want to crawl with this thing. Absolutely.
Well, we'll have to have a download site for that script.
Yeah. So I just thought it was an interesting, first of all, sending this to me is kind of ironic because I would never talk about this on the podcast, and
never.
And number one, I would never sign up for something like this because, I've been, I gotta be careful what I say about Google because this is on YouTube, but, Google is known for obviously collecting this information, using to monetize ads, all those things. So I don't want to say it's like a warning to people, but I think sending this out to the general population for people that aren't security or privacy aware, a little bit concerning because you may not know what you're getting into for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at, like, when you sent it over for us to review before the show, you had the two articles. One was about the company, and then one was a review. And I've read the review, and the guy who wrote it, I say guy, whatever, I don't know. They first, it always feels like a scam when they start talking about, I would never review something that I didn't believe in, and like, yeah, really,
right.
And then like they start talking about, they're going to know what you talk about, but are they really going to? Yes, they are. Right, like if they're intercepting your web traffic and they know what you're talking about. Period.
I remember that sentence because he says I was a little uneasy, but then I saw it was from Google and Ipsos, two reputable companies. They're not going
to. They're trustworthy. It's perfectly fine. Okay.
I wonder how much they got paid for.
Yeah. Here's my answer. I'm probably the wrong person. I like personalized ads.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah.
Okay. If I go to a website and it's got ads on it, and I will admit, and this is where I changed my mind a few years ago, and I was adamant I would never run an ad blocker. I run one now and have for a few years. But I like when I go to a site and it says, hey, Kevin, you were looking at this thing. Now I will laugh. I don't know why Amazon ads, every Amazon ad I ever get is for something I already bought. Like I'll go to Amazon and buy something, and for a week it'll advertise that item, right? Yeah. It's like, but okay.
Even worse. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys have an app called Kijiji or a website called Geek for selling. It's in Canada. It's you can use it for classified ads, right? So it's just a whole app infrastructure for all the locales in Canada.
So like Craigslist or
exactly, yeah. Okay, it's just another kind of Craigslist. But I have the app for it, and I sold a few things over the last few months, and now I'm getting actual posts like suggestions. Hey, here's something you might want to buy. No, I just sold one of those. I got rid of that. One of those. What are they thinking?
So I like personalized ads, but I don't like them enough to let them know every single thing I do. And look, I live a pretty open public life. And I don't mean that like I'm a celebrity and I'm public. I mean it is, I don't believe I have any privacy. I really don't. And so I just expect that the information about me is available and people can see it and, whatever. And even with that, I'm not comfortable attaching a device to my network that just monitors everything.
I didn't know you have a limit at least, Kevin.
Oh yeah, I have limits. They're way out there, right? Like, But and let's be clear, I have echoes in my house, right? Like I have, and I don't mean that the house is so big it echoes. I mean I have a little device, and right, I wouldn't do this. I would,
Yeah.
but I do recommend taking them up on it. And Tom, if you're not interested in doing it, I can throw one of my people at writing the script to just crawl. I don't know where to get the list of therapy-inducing porn sites, but I don't know.
This might take a bit of thought. We could bring Rebecca Harold in as well because she likes this kind of stuff too.
There you go. There you go.
Well, the other angle to this too is it'd be interesting to get one and actually see what it is collecting and where it's sending it.
True.
If you're not willing to take it, request it, mail it to me. I will throw it in a lab here and get one of my people. We got 2 interns starting in a couple of weeks. We've got new people.
I'll think about that.
If you're willing to pick it up, I'm willing to throw a person at it and look at what it's doing.
I don't know if I can afford it. Oh wait, they pay me. Okay, so
yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you can afford it. But all seriousness, I would love to see what it does. Right.
Yeah. I'll think about that.
Oh well.
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to say there's another ironic story I heard, security related, but I don't know if you guys have time for it or not.
Yeah. Lay it on.
So Edward Snowden does talks. Did you hear about this one where he shut down a scammer in the middle of his live event? It was pretty funny. It was actually a Canadian guy. Really proud of this, but he was running
was a Canadian guy.
The scammer was a Canadian guy doing a private. It had like something called a private investment club or something like that, right? Where he was raising money. It turns out it's a Ponzi scheme, and he'd been charged like a couple of years ago by the Securities Commissions, and somehow got off, and he's still doing the same thing. And he hires Edward Snowden to talk on one of his live events. That is going to attract people because they love his name, and he talks for a while in the periphery about why he did what he did and all the good stuff. And he says he's sort of setting it up for the fall, but you got to find this on YouTube. I'll see if I can get it to Tom in the show notes.
Yeah, but please do. I'd like to see.
Partway through it, he's just going, it's kind of ironic that you've asked me to speak here because as a whistleblower, I feel compelled to tell everybody that's watching.
All of it. Yeah.
And the guy's face just goes,
yeah.
I'm going to take 5 minutes now.
So if you share that one, I will share the can you chug a carbonated water without burping kid who it's like a 20-second video. And the chaos that ensues when this kid does this is I feel bad for the dude, but I will admit I watched the video about 30 times.
I'll watch it for sure.
Is that the one where they put the Mentos into the...
No. I've seen that one too. No, this is like a carbonated water, right? And I this is feeding my soda addiction. I finally stopped. I'm not drinking soda anymore, which is awesome. But this kid, I don't know why he says something about a Lego Death Star. Like you may not have a Lego Death Star, but I can burp. I can chug one of these without burping. And he drinks it. And then chaos erupts. And I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I will get the link out to you. It's like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what the ironic part about that, Kevin, is you have a Lego Death Star.
I don't anymore. I sold it on Craigslist.
That's awesome.
Yes, I did have a Lego Death Star. So it would have been ironic. And not the Alanis Morissette ironic to appease the Canadian on this show.
There we go.
Well,
the song's not about irony, boys.
I think it's time to end the show.
Time to end the show. Thanks for hanging in with us.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening, and thank you both for being on the show this week. It was fun, and we'll talk to everyone next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all for this week's show. Be sure to follow the Shared Security Show on Twitter and Instagram for the latest news and show updates. If you like this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button. And please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast listening app. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Show.